Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of TGG Network. We got a lot to talk about, so we're going to jump right into it. First, we're going to go into introductions. I'm Dwight Cenac, creator of High Noon Game. With me, actually, it's like, whatever. Also in the crowd, we got Eddie with the Gaming Goat. What's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Introductions, you said, right? All right.
That's
so people
right. Go
haven't
ahead.
been watching our show, haven't met us in person in real life, all that. Yeah, I'm the Vice President of Retail Operations for the Gaming Goat stores across America and also involved with TGG Games Publishing. So we're here to talk about all the things that have happened in the industry together with lots of other designers, manufacturers, retailers, anybody else who's willing to come on the show and talk shop.
Speaking of, we've got William from Incel Riot Studios. What's up, buddy?
Not a lot. It's cold. I planned this poorly. See that it actually has the logo, but it just says Incel over my head, which I don't know.
It's perfect.
I'll own it. We'll own it. We'll own it.
Ladies' Choice Games, John Chambers in the house.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, going good. Gentleman's Choice should be coming out this coming year. It's ready when it's ready. I'll delay it till it's perfect. But yeah, that's me.
Definitely, don't rush perfection. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And actually, if there's any wonderful parable of that in real time, High Noon was rushed into the market and has loads of imperfections. It's a great game. People love playing it, but plenty to improve. Meanwhile, William over here took a sweet ass time making Portland Occupy Zone. And those minis, I mean, the whole game looks gorgeous. Like the production value is, and I don't even have a copy of it. I just see pictures that Eddie's posting, you jerk.
Do you want one?
Yes, okay. I do.
We've got a lot of transferring to do.
Send me an address.
Well, hey, Eddie, don't you have a bunch of
copies? I got them. I got plenty.
Yeah. We won't charge.
We won't
cost you for the shipping.
All right.
So we got a bunch of subjects here. The first one, SHADOWBANNED in the title, but we discussed it. We agree. The topic of China should be first up. There's a lot of propaganda going on. China. A lot of propaganda going on about the state of it, but we actually have boots on the ground here. William, you actually live in China. Where are you exactly?
Henan Xinyang. I'm about an hour away from Wuhan to the east. We were the second city in the world that was quarantined.
Second city. And how's it going now? What's the state of it now?
Oh gosh, how much time do we have?
Can you go outside and get groceries? That's the question.
Yes. Okay. Everybody saw like the riots and the protests.
Yes. I mean,
yes.
on
Laura
the news,
Ingra is very, very disappointed that there was no massacre. But what they didn't tell you is that the CCP did a complete about face. They opened the whole country up, and which leads us. It's even weirder now because they spent the last 3 years like scaring everybody to death about this virus that was going to kill everybody, and without changing that narrative, they just opened everything up, and now everybody's scared to death because everybody's getting it.
Oh, no.
And Beijing is can I curse? I'm not gonna. Is a ghost town. Nobody wants to go to work. Everybody's shut in. I'm on like WeChat all the time, like trying to calm people down. Like just take some ivermectin. It's
just
fine.
Go. Just get some horse tranquilizer. You'll be good.
That's what they say. I looked it up, and the WHO says blah blah blah. It's just horse dewormer. It's like, okay, I did my best.
Yeah, I tried.
Very hard to talk sense to a panicky person. But yeah.
So I can't wait to get. I mean, that sounds like I need to get on a plane right now and get there. That's like the first time forever that I wouldn't be crammed like a sardine in the subway. I remember being in the subways in Guangzhou, and you couldn't get in the subway. You were pressed against the door. The door would be closing on your face like this because it's so packed. Is that? Yes. I mean, I'm being accurate, right?
That's accurate. I would never go to Guangzhou. That for many other reasons.
What is so the subways are empty then, right? Like we can
currently. Well, I'm not in a place with a subway, but yes, nobody's going to work, and my friends are telling me like they're coming into work, but nobody else wants to come in.
So what is that? What is the effect on? And this actually comes in. This is what's relevant about us, like people like us that produce games, people like who maybe are viewers who purchase games or back games on Kickstarter. My expansions for High Noon are currently in production right now. My factory seems okay. I mean, I don't, but they could be crawling. I don't know. I've asked them for some video. They haven't sent me any, but they are doing stuff. But like, what's going on with the production side for things?
My guys are fine. They actually seems kind of desperate.
Desperate
right?
for work? Desperate for work? Okay.
It seemed to, like, in days gone by, they'd be, jam-packed, and like I'd try to, hey, what can we get this done? Yeah, we'll get to you. Now they're calling me up. Like,
oh, really?
Got anything you need done? Yeah. Like, yeah.
Well, but if they're afraid to go to the factory, then why do they want the work? How does that work out?
I don't know. I think, the global economy is in the pooper. So not a lot of orders being made.
Okay, fair enough. Hey,
people are scared to ship anything at this point too. So
I got these
orders through.
I got these back last week.
Oh, nice.
This is the expansion to POZ. I just got them back.
Nice. Okay, I do want one of those. You could probably send me one of those.
Well, you need these are expansions. You need the whole.
Yeah,
thing.
I know. You send me that, and then Eddie will send me the game. I'll have it all.
Gotcha.
By the way, for those of you who are watching the show, and you want to comment, if you're watching it on one of our Facebook channels and you want to leave a comment, we cannot see the comments if you're commenting on Facebook unless you sign in. There should be like a sign in for StreamYard, because that's what we're using to stream, that you can use to leave comments. Otherwise, check us out on YouTube on the Gaming Goat Network. We would prefer that you check us out there anyway. Nice. Yeah, we're on a bunch of platforms. And if you leave comments on the YouTube channel, we can see those. We will engage with those. If you've seen our other streams, we like to bring you guys to the conversation. So if you want to join the conversation, great to do it on Facebook if you want, but you'll have to follow some links and do some tweaks. Otherwise, easiest, just come over to the YouTube and leave your comments there. So are you currently producing anything right now in China?
Yeah. Well, these
Right.
That's the only thing right now.
Wow.
I'm kind of banned. Want to segue into that? I'm kind of banned everywhere.
So let's see this. What is this, Twitter stuff?
Speaking of, I saw this post that you made on Facebook where you were showing green, red letters, whatever.
Oh, yeah. This isn't the tool that Elon Musk promised, but somebody else. Well, it can circulate around on Twitter now, but it was perma-banned before, right? But it's not banned now. So the people are sharing it around, like you can check your ban status. And I am deboosted, but that is maybe a big deal for you. It's like the least bad thing that happened to me.
I'm pulling it up right now, actually, into the. How did you find out? How did you find out about this?
Oh, just somebody else sharing their results.
Oh,
anybody who during the election followed. You didn't even have to post. Followed a QAnon channel or a Patriot, some kind of Patriot channel, one of the big ones.
Yeah.
They got that strike. Every single person. Almost everybody I know has that.
So here was your this was the screenshot of your Twitter account.
Yes.
It shows. So basically what we're seeing here is you're not banned on search suggestion, right? You're not search banned. You're not ghost banned. You're deboosted. Is that what that is? Is that what that means?
Right. What that is, if you go on Twitter, you can read all the comments, and then there'll be a show more button.
Yeah.
And you push that, and that's where all the cool people are.
Okay.
Way down there.
What is, and so green means that none of these are happening, right? Red means, is that how that seems backwards. It seems like green would mean
Japanese guy made it.
Okay.
Made by a Japanese guy. They're all bass backwards over there.
So what did you posted on Twitter to generate this deboosting?
I shared the link with you. It's an app that you put your
No. I mean, what
fault?
Crime did you commit on Twitter to
I told you
to do that?
Anybody who followed the QAnon accounts during the election, they got botted. They got this applied to them, so they can't so nobody will see your comments in any other post. Yeah, wow. That was my only crime. I didn't reply. I barely used the thing. And I have other friends that say they never commented at all, but they got this because they were following the wrong accounts.
So this inspired me to check my own account because I was like, what the heck, this exists? And so I typed in my account. Now, mind you, High Noon, I don't tweet. I don't do the twatter thing. So it was so milquetoast. I don't follow people. I like follow like 3 people, and I think they're all game creators. But like I would post periodically about like High Noon, like what's going on with the game or whatever. So there, I wouldn't think that there'd be any reason to do anything, but lo and behold, I pull up mine, and what do I see? I've got a search ban. Search ban. Nobody's allowed to search for High Noon game.
Dude.
Yeah.
49 followers. Woof.
This is the thing. Like I follow 3 people. I have like 0 reach. Maybe this is why.
That's why.
But I was like, what the heck? So what an eye-opening thing. So I took a screenshot of this and I posted it on Twitter and I just said Elon Musk. I was like, see what's happening here, right?
Did he answer you?
Dude, okay. So he didn't answer me. I got no response whatsoever, of course, because the dude's busy. But check this out. Literally, I don't know when it happened, but an hour later, I got curious. I wanted to pull it up to do with the podcast because we were getting ready to do this stream yesterday. So an hour later, I pull up the shadow ban again, and an hour after I tag Elon Musk, I'm not saying anything, but boom.
Oh,
nice.
Ah.
How about that, huh?
Nice.
Just imagine him personally going on his laptop going, oh no, High Noon.
Oh no, I got to rescue High Noon.
We have to make this wrong.
Sorry. And I got
He's a fan.
Followers. I got 2 new followers.
Sorry, Dwight. Fixing it up now.
Yeah, yes. Please forgive me. Please keep shopping on whatever. Yeah, so I got 2 new followers. Possibly one of them being Elon Musk. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Could be.
Not gonna say. Maybe not. Could be someone else. Maybe.
It's like Tom. Everybody's his friend.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. We didn't know what we had. Actually,
that would be cool.
I told people do not leave MySpace. They didn't listen. We didn't listen. So just a thought, William. Maybe you should tag Elon Musk in a tweet or something.
I should do that.
You should.
I've been complaining about his banning of other people.
You should complain about banning of yours.
I should
stand up for yourself.
Yes,
stand up for yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Bear in mind, though, this is
account in real time.
What's that?
Let's recheck Incel Riot in real time. I want to see if there's any updates as of this second.
Incel, right. Is it Incel Riot like that?
Mm-hmm.
Incel Riot. Riot. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. Nope.
Nope. Still deboosted.
Still doing it. See, still deboosted. What the heck? Like, what garbage? The Twitter was such garbage.
What a it's a caste system.
Everybody
they like got a blue check margin. Everybody else gets deboosted.
Yep.
Not a big deal. Everybody does it.
So we weren't the only. Now we got the soft. We've gotten the soft shadow ban. Nobody talked about it. It's a secret. Whatever. We're still able to do our jobs. But the age of censorship has not ended. John, you've got a story for us. You were not left unscathed, or your team was not left unscathed. What's going on?
Oh yeah. Now for anyone who didn't watch the previous thing, I heard from Incel Riot that I am the very definition of art because I'm not derivative. And in return, I said, hey, can we maybe stop picking on him? And I actually felt bad that was just like the worst praise I could have possibly given him. I did say more than that, but not much. I'm sorry. But that alone was enough to have my artist lose 2 clients. He lost 2 clients because he worked with someone who said, leave Incel Riot alone. He lost 2 clients for that. I did not ask his permission to say that. When he told me afterwards what happened, I said, look, I'm sorry. Do you want me to take it back? Do you want me to do something to get the clients back? No, they're gone.
I didn't even do nothing.
Yeah. And all I said is, hey, stop picking on you. That's it. I mean, it was a pretty crap promotion, but it was enough to lose him 2 clients.
That's crazy that they would see you, do research on you to find your game, do research on the game to find the artist, and then do research on the artist to harass the clients. It's insane.
Or the other way round. Maybe the client is doing that much research into the
Right.
artist.
Right.
I don't know which way up the chain it
Following
went.
the trail.
It's like, oh, who's he worked for? Is this person credible? Have they ever said to not pick on someone that has views I disagree with?
And this isn't a small thing. It's not just, oh, well, you know, 2 clients left like that, and be like, oh man, that sucks. What a terrible thing. Like, this has actual ramifications on the artist. Like, the artist is having a life experience.
Oh, yeah.
How are they doing? How are they handling? How are they holding up?
I don't know what a client's worth, but you know, to an artist, like one client, that could be $10,000. That could be $100,000. We don't know how long the project is and whether the project's ongoing. But to lose 2, I mean, losing a client could be as high as losing an employer. Now, I haven't asked too many questions because I don't think he's comfortable sharing. But yeah, if I knew more, I'd tell you more. But 2 clients gone. They were going to do business with, or at least they said they were going to do business with him. And now they're saying, we were going to do business with you, but we've decided not to because the guy that you work with said to leave Incel Ride alone.
Leave Brittany alone. It's crazy. It's crazy because it's like, we're not going to do business with you because you're bad at your job or you have bad art. Or you're
associated with someone who's associated with someone who
guilt by association. Yeah,
it's such an SS trooper kind
guilt
of
by association of association. Because it's not even my association. He's associated with me, and I'm associated with Will. And Will's crime of making a game that depicts something that someone disagrees with has landed on me and my next. Now, I'm not blaming Will at all. You know, like you make your art. You make your art. But
we're back on the school playground with this stuff again.
It's such we really do.
My school playground was never this autistic.
We live in a Monty Python world. Like, this is like the Ministry of Association is like lording over us with bureaucratic nonsense. Oh, you're associated with such and such, which is associated with so and so, who's associated with X, who did XYZ, which happened to be associated with B. It's like, dude, like when I search for artists, I just look at the art. I don't know who the artist is. I don't care what the artist believes. For the longest time, I thought one of my artists.
Guess,
well, I thought here's the thing. For the longest time, one of my artists, I thought they were like trans. And I was okay with it. I didn't care, but I saw their pictures and stuff. And I was like, oh, what an interesting lifestyle you have. But but who cares? You provide amazing art, and it is valuable to me, and I will keep paying for this. Turns out they weren't trans. They're totally normal, whatever. But it's like, who cares? Who cares about your personal life? Like, what we need to get back to. This is why I love capitalism. Milton Friedman did the case for capitalism about the number 2 pencil, and he was like, the number 2 pencil, the wood comes from this country, the metal for the encasing of the eraser comes from this country, the eraser material comes from this country, the lead comes from this country, and all these countries come together from all their different walks of life, all their different beliefs and cultures. They may vehemently disagree on everything else, but they all agree that they can make a lot of money together if they work together and make this number 2 pencil. And that's why they don't go to war. And it's like capitalism literally solves everything. We just need to go back to the basics of capitalism and work together and make lots of money.
It's not just the pencil's cheaper. It's that there is literally no individual that has got all the skills necessary to make a pencil.
Don't tell these people that. That's for sure.
There's no one with all the skills necessary to make a pencil. That you probably can't grow trees. You probably can't smelt metal. You probably can't, collect the rubber in the certain way and know the time. Nobody knows the entire process of how to make a pencil.
David Robinson says, imagine being offended by plastic pieces and cards to the point that you let it affect the way you do business. No freaking kidding.
It's the mildest of satire. It's so
Yeah, not only that,
mild.
but talk about
It
offense
doesn't
real
even
quick.
rise to.
When you're offended and you let people know, you've already made two mistakes. First, you were offended in the first place, and then you let people know. What are we doing in this culture war that exists on many different planes, right? We've got culture wars between power dynamics, right? Power structures, institutional power structures, and normal people just trying to get by through the day. And then you've got social dynamics where you've got normal people and dorks. And dorks have this crazy habit of finding places where people are enjoying life, finding a way to get into those places, maybe putting on the right apparel, right? To be like, hey, I belong here. And then making those places fucking suck because they want everything else to come lame back down to where they can compete in that environment again. And those of us who are like trying to have a good time are like, well, this place sucks, so let's go to the next place that doesn't suck. And then they find their way in there. And that's literally the culture war at all levels, at all times, no matter your age, race, background, country, anything. It's just dorks ruin things.
They ruin
and they're
everything.
Puritans of a different type in a lot of cases.
The bullies
and they just
were
ruin
right.
the good time.
The bullies were right. They should have picked on the, and I was hearing somebody talk about, actually, it's funny that you mentioned the dorks, because I was hearing a conversation, I can't remember where, but they drew a distinction. They're like, there's dorks and there's nerds.
Right.
And the nerds are your geeks, your IT guys that still dorks and nerds, but the one thing they have in common is neither of them are getting laid. But the nerds are using that time to go, develop software, to do art, to develop, to create. They're creating.
Have qualities, redeeming qualities that make them valuable to somebody in themselves.
Dorks are the yin to that yang. They're just there to destroy. All they do is destroy. The nerds create and the dorks destroy. And bullies were right to pick on them. I think they should just come.
And the thing is, you can bully, a theme, a topic, a style, a fashion. A lot of the stuff that we get in trouble for in this current, episode of Earth is talking about trans as people's identity that is extremely important to them, when it's really just trans fashion that I like to make fun of. I've talked about this a couple other times. It's like people who just take on the identity, the dorks,
right?
Take on the identity just to be able to fit into the scene and be a part of the popular scene that has its taboo structure now, from which they are protected from any and all, flaws, faults,
discomfort,
and
discomfort of any kind.
Yeah, right. So you get back to the word offended. There it is. People find a way to be offended, and they've made the two mistakes because they let you know about it.
I think we need to just normalize calling these people dorks. That's just whatever, dork.
It's soft.
I have a long thought. Do we have time for a long thought?
Yeah, of course we do. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So you have this radical movement, right? And why would you join a radical movement? This is way back in 1954 or whatever. Type A person, like they actually want to change things. They think the world could be a better place, and like they want to make the world better. Second type of people is they're bored, which is a good reason, right? They want new opportunities to create new things, right? And then you get a whole bunch of people who do it because it's cool, and then you also like groupies and stuff, right? People who like to consume the art that these people are making, or the music or whatever. And then you always have like the mentally ill, right? They're the outcasts. There are always groups of outcasts who want to join a radical group. Now, over time, you run out of things to do. You run out of things to change and things to improve. So type
innovation,
group A and B, they're going to drop out. Right? There's nothing useful to do. There's nothing useful to create. So we're going to check out. We're going to do something else, leaving only the mentally ill. And I think that's where we are now. Like everybody else is checked out. Like all the smart people, have you noticed?
Yeah.
Of the radical left,
and they're still talking about the fashion, right? The fashion of the current era.
But it's old
you talk about the pink and the blue hair. That's why I make fun of it so much, and so do you with all your pastels. Because this was the cool look of the cool people who couldn't do that and keep a good job because society
30 years ago.
Yeah. And the thing is another point I like to speak on all the time is goth is about being like black and white, hidden, not a scene. And then you go into the peacock phase of all the like accepted coloration of hair and stuff in the workplace or whatever. It's like you're not rebelling against anything. Everyone's just like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
When goth was goth,
we leave this person. This person is the one there. Everybody else leaves. This person's left there to just destroy everything. Is that what you're saying? That's
Basically, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're saying like everyone walks off like, oh, we've cured racism now. We don't have
Yeah.
the apartheid anymore. No, there is still racism.
Right. Well, they're
Hurry up and
emotionally
be
attached
worried.
to this identity. They're not, you know.
I will find the racism and I will expose it.
Well,
You can argue, like in the 60s or whatever, there were legal things
Yeah.
to do, right? There was improvements to be made, but it's all done now. And maybe there was something useful to create, but it's done now, right? And so it's just leave behind these people who have no place else to go.
well,
The fear of
and
success.
I think it playing on that. The people who leave don't just leave and like sail off into the great yonder. They leave to go do something else. They leave
Right.
to continue to take their skills, their values, not their principles, but the actual value that they have to give to humanity. They take those values and they apply them to something else. What we're talking about are people, and
It's pioneers and domestics.
everybody can develop a value. Like everybody can become valuable. All it takes is effort and like an investment of themselves into becoming valuable. And what we're talking about are people who have chosen, they've made the decision, the deliberate decision to not invest in themselves to become valuable, and rather to parasite off the things that are created until, as you said, everybody else leaves to go create something else. And like you said, well, it's done now. What do? Because they didn't create the thing, they only adopted the identity of it. That's their value. And so that's why they're a perpetual victim, because without being a victim, without being perpetually offended by something or upset by something, that's because that's their value, is their identity. Their identity is their value, which is not valuable at all. And that's the thing. It's because it's not valuable at all they can do is destroy. Value builds. What
It actually has more value if it's not self-assigned also. If your value is your identity and it's because you actually have a crisis.
Count the number of 90s and 80s radicals who have checked out. Johnny Rotten, the Sex Pistols, Morrissey, Eric Clapton, all these people. I'm sure there are more, but those like the real radicals. Like they said, screw this shit.
Well, and you have the people that are still on the apology tours, like Sarah Silverman and Seth Rogen, right? Outrageous comedians with great material. That
are you kidding me?
Controversial and
agree
subversive.
to disagree, my friend. I think they all suck.
Well,
all right. Well, they're literally like backtracking on all of their own previous work at all times because they're on the apology tour. That's the point I'm making.
Well, the tour that they're on is kicking the ladder down. The ladder that they climbed, where they told offensive jokes, and that's why they're famous. It's like, if we take this back to the game side, I know there's a lot of fans probably watching that are fans of like Frosthaven and Gloomhaven or whatever. I've never played the games, but it's obvious that Isaac put a lot of effort into those games. He put a lot of heart into them, and I mean, kudos to him for doing so. But I remember when after he made Gloomhaven and after the entire community came in on it and like invested in it, validated the worth of that game with millions of dollars that they gave him because they loved the game. Then after he was massively successful, then he goes and kicks the ladder away so nobody else can climb up it by saying, we made some mistakes. We should have been more socially conscious. We should have done this. We should have done that. And started basically assigning rules to the community that if anybody else were to follow those rules, they wouldn't be as successful as him. He was successful by not following those rules. He was successful by making a game that gave no craps about these artificial, arbitrary boundaries. He was like, no, I have a vision. I want to create it. Let's go. Anybody else following that had an opportunity to be successful. But the moment that he was successful, then he's like, you know what? Nobody else can create a game like that like Gloomhaven and be successful like Gloomhaven. Now, if you want to be as successful as me, you have to do things that I didn't do then. And it's not heroic. It's not virtuous. And it doesn't make him a bad game designer. I'm saying this because I think.
Signaling?
Oh,
yeah. So
that's
is there actually
his game,
virtue signaling though, or are we actually signaling something else at this point? It's not that these are actually like virtuous.
No, it's not. There's no virtue there.
People and their identities.
Well, it's virtuous
to
to the
different
people.
Signal. It's really like chasing the money, right? You're
Autism signal?
capital signaling. Well, okay, sure. If you're trying to associate with these people on a regular basis, but if you're really just trying to sell a product, you're just capitalist, man.
But
you're
you're
just
not
seeking the funds.
But you're not, and because the money is not in those things that you're chasing. You're chasing away the money.
See, we know that. That's why we feel like we're not insane.
Oh, you think that he's? You think? That
I feel like I'm not insane. I feel like you're not insane.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, and this is why the reason why I laid this out is because I don't know how. I think I agree with William that Sarah Silverman and Joe Rogan are not funny now.
Seth Rogen.
I was talking Seth Rogen, yeah.
Seth Rogen. But I think that they used to be. I remember laughing at jokes that they made because they were universal jokes that any comedian could make because they're offensive and funny. But when they changed to this thing, I think there's still a funny Sarah Silverman and a funny Seth Rogen somewhere within them. They've just adopted this mentality of the dorks, which has ruined what they were. And that's similar to what Isaac has done by adopting the ideology of the dorks to the detriment of the gaming community.
People want to stay popular, so they stay with the amount of people that looks like the larger grouping of people to be popular with, when realistically, you should just continue chasing your dream and then recognize that people who are dorks are still going to want to glom onto you and your dream, but you still should continue to appeal to the stronger portions of society, not the weakest links, the weakest elements.
Sucking up to the center will never, ever be cool. I'm sorry.
It's something that people should keep in mind. The dorks, because they have no value to market, they don't have the money. Okay, so appeasing the dorks is not going to sell your games. Like that's
true,
and
and they will always make up the masses too. They will be the numbers that you see.
They'll be in the comment section.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But they don't have money for your game. That's right. Absolutely.
They look like a lot of. Go ahead, John. What's up?
One more thing I do want to point out is back to anyone 2 steps away from William is losing their career now.
Yeah. Degrees of separation.
Not 2 steps, okay.
Literally.
But also, as far as I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, Incel Riot has never fucked over their own customers. With
not
shipping,
to my knowledge. Not willing. Not
not
on purpose.
Your business
you don't have
sound,
any
right?
unresolved complaints that are going on. No,
I like my people.
Of your customers. And meanwhile,
see, I genuinely like that
publishers.
you are an artist too, Will. Like you are an artist and you are supposed to be separable from everything. And your product should be separable from everything, including yourself.
We have publishers screwing over their own customers, just not delivering a game at all. And if you're lucky, they will give you an extra bill to pay more shipping to get it. If you're lucky.
Right.
Those guys aren't getting cancelled for 2 steps.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know.
How is, you take care of your customers and the stuff that's printed on, all of of your products, your customers knew that when they bought it and they're happy with it. Yes. You haven't screwed anyone over.
Not that
the only people upset are the people
who wouldn't buy your game,
haven't bought your game, and they're upset that the game they didn't buy isn't to their liking.
Which is why you're supposed to spend your time making fun of them as a broad
with it.
gesture.
Well, when I do ads, I be sure to tag a group that is sure to get very, very upset.
Right.
You have your you tag one group because I want them to fight.
Yeah. Let them fight.
Well, this actually goes into our next topic because there is, when we're talking about people, it's one thing to be like, I'm not going to subscribe to your YouTube channel, or I'm not going to listen to you or whatever. I'm not going to buy your game. Okay. But when you then go and bully other people to not buy, to be afraid to support a creator or a game, and regardless of the degrees of separation from the person you're trying to punish, because now you're punishing everybody. And this has happened to all of us. This has happened to your artist. It's happened to me in my game. I'm consistently getting banned from. Well, I myself am not getting banned from conventions. Many of them I am, but I'm not allowed to promote my product at these conventions. They're not allowing me to promote a board game. that has nothing to do with my personal beliefs, nothing to do with my political beliefs, nothing to do with anything I've said online. It's just a board game that anybody can sit down and play. And these conventions will not allow me. They'll allow everybody else to promote their games, but not me. And they'll allow the people that bullied them to promote their services, but not me. And this has real effects, and all of us have been affected by it. But this is a warning to everybody that is doing this. We've been talking to the people who agree with us, but this is a message to those of you who disagree and are out there to do this, to bully and harass the conventions that support us, the artists that work for us, the stores that sell our games, the people that might do business with us. You're trying to bully them to not do business with us. That's called tortious interference. It is a crime, and it is a. I don't know if I don't think it's a criminal offense, but it is a civil offense, and it will expose you to lawsuits, legitimate claims against you in the court of law. If you are not ready to spend money defending your heinous acts, don't do them, because they're about to become real. The consequences are about to manifest them, very real, very close to you. Eddie, you've got some news on that.
I had some stuff to talk on that. Yeah, so I had a Q&A session planned for the OG GOAT, Jeff Berger, and he was supposed to join us tonight. Couldn't make it. You know, it's Q4 and holidays, December. We're all selling a bunch of shit. All right. So he would have been here tonight to talk a little bit about what we've got going on that he recently broadcasted out to the universe. We are going after a lot of people in the tabletop industry for that use of social pressure. They demanded people stop working with he or I or our company or our products. You know, it's funny that you brought up High Noon having bans on it, because the product itself doesn't have the same amount of controversy as Williams games for sure, or our products that were deemably offensive themselves, or John, your game itself is considered deemably offensive, right? Obviously ours was literally over one single piece of art.
Yeah.
You know, easily defendable art. But anyway, the point is these shadow bans, the topic of du jour, all of this references back to the point of when and where does it become an actual legal issue that you can actually get involved in. And we are at that point. So TGG is going after people. I know that Jeff named Bruno Feduti as one of these people, and that's huge, man. This is earth-shattering news to hear that there are actual names being put out, because everything is already documented. It's all going to the courts.
There's no going back now. It's happening.
Yeah. We've got people that are using their influence to say not just simple things that I think is defensible, by the way. As a true liberal, I want to say we should all be able to say things, criticize things, critique each other, openly dialogue everything, right? And if it's one thing to say, people shouldn't buy this game, this guy sucks. People shouldn't buy this game, it sucks. But to go and then say people should not work with this person is that next level. And then it goes even further when it's more subversive and behind the scenes, when you have documentable records of people going behind the scenes and saying, you should not work with them, but also I will not work with you if you do not work with them. And that's that next further step at which it becomes a legal matter.
That's where tortious interference comes in. Exactly.
And we have all of this. All right. And that's just one name that got dropped. There are several people that are in our attorney's hands. All right. Forms are being submitted. Okay. Checks in the mail.
So papers have been served, or they're being
served?
served?
And there are settlements occurring too. The thing is, we can't talk about everybody and everything at this point, but settlements are occurring, man. There is money involved in this situation. And all it took was a couple of crazy people, dorks, definitely dorks, trying to take down opponents, whether it's political opponents, business competition, whatever it might be. Again, defending your right to say things about anyone and everything, awesome. Do it as publicly as possible, in fact. Once you start telling people that they can't work, we start having issues, and they're monetary issues.
And it's you can't do this, or else I'm gonna do this. I'm going to do this financially impacting thing against you if you do this other thing that has nothing to do with this business. This is tortious interference. And John, you're talking about your artist. I mean, your artist suffered because you told people, not just leave Britney alone. And literally, that's how I started getting harassed myself. When all I did was get on a podcast to talk about how games should be like. I called out Gamma because they were going against their motto. And I was a member. I wasn't saying don't become. I wasn't telling anybody not to be a member of Gamma. I loved Gamma. I loved everything that Gamma stands for. Their motto was a game for every table and a table for everyone. And here they were banning people flippantly because they disagreed with their politics. And they were violating their own bylaws, their own rules, their own code of conduct. They were allowing other members to harass other members and then work to collude together to ban those members, which is coded. It's against the bylaws. It's written in code of their own bylaws, and they were violating their own bylaws. And I was calling them out on that, saying, listen, guys, you're going against your bylaws. And really at the end of the day, we all need to come together. And because I said that, they removed me as a dues paying voting member. I can still go to the Gamma events. I can pay for that, but I cannot be a dues paying member. They've ejected me from the organization, a trade organization, not a political organization or an ideological organization,
Right.
a trade organization. I was booted from for basically saying, leave Britney alone. And I pray to God that at some point they feel the wrath as well, because it's coming.
Yeah, they're exhibiting institutional biases for sure, and we can keep pointing that out and sound like we're complaining at all times of day, but really we're not complaining for ourselves. We're complaining for our industry, for the works we want to create and want to see other people create and be able to participate at any level of society. And the new hashtag is like Elon buy this. Essentially, yeah. I need Elon buying Kickstarter. I need Elon buying everything.
Yes.
And it's not because
the world.
Yeah, I don't want to specifically do everything with every platform, every website, every business ever, but I do want everyone else to be also able to do those things.
Well, that's what we're going. That's what we're going towards, I think. And I wanted to end this kind of on a high note. I'm not saying that we have to end it, but I think that what you're talking about, Eddie, the brave actions that Jeff has made, these moves that Jeff has made to basically hold these people, these bullies, dork bullies accountable for this terrorism that they've conducted on this industry. This is gonna have lasting effects. This is going to send a clear message.
We are setting precedents for sure.
Setting precedents. And I think that's a good thing for the community, because there will come a day where you don't have to be afraid of who you are, what you believe, what you think, what you say. As long as you make a good game that people like, you will be able to sell that game. You'll be successful in that because of the acts of people like Jeff. And right now there's still, even now, there's hope for creators right now. So like John, we were talking behind the scenes, for artists out there who are experiencing, harassment or rejection because of beliefs, know that there are still avenues for you to get work. There's plenty of demand out there from people who do not care what you believe, as long as you do good work, especially for graphic artists. ArtStation's a great website to throw your work on. Nobody cares about your politics. They literally go in there to look for types of images, to see what kind of artists are out there. They see the art that they like. They're like, I want to hire that person. And that's all they care about. They don't go behind the scenes and, find out who you are personally. They don't care. And there is a group that got me on the flag. It's called Comicsgate. There's plenty of Discord channels. Comicsgate. I don't want to get too deep into the lore on that. But
that's not an organization by itself.
No,
right? That's just
not.
It's like the theory, right? The subscribable theory.
It's basically a movement of people who, in the art side, in the comic side, which are largely graphic artists, who believe in the same principles that we're talking about, which is essentially coexist. Who gives a crap about your beliefs? Just do good work. There's a lot of people in there that have work that they want to get out. They're looking for artists. And if you are an artist who's been harassed for your political ideological beliefs, just know that you have plenty of places to go to call home. at least for now, until Jeff sues the pants off everybody. So we have one meme.
Game Found.
Elon buy this, Jeff sue this. These are the two things that everybody's asking.
Sue Game Found on my behalf.
Game.
I'll let you get the whole settlement. I just want to be able to crowdsource.
I'm gonna throw a
It's this thing
speculation
called.
out.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
Yep. This is just a speculation. I could be completely wrong because my artist isn't telling me much, and I'm really not pushing him for information. But what I suspect may happen is if my contract for Gentleman's Choice was broken, I think that there wouldn't have been any loss of client. That's not what he said, but I've still paid for Gentleman's Choice to be finished. And Gentleman's Choice needs him. If he goes, I am up the river with Gentleman's Choice. Okay, and so him losing clients, I suspect that the fuller story might be pressure is on to destroy Gentleman's Choice.
You've just exposed your weakness, John. How brave!
Right?
It is my weakness.
Well, your head's the block.
Yeah. If that's go, if Gentleman's Choice doesn't make it, I'm leaving game design. Right.
It's gonna make it.
It'll
It's
happen
gonna
one
make
way or
it. It'll
another.
make it.
Yeah.
It'll
You can
happen.
persevere, man.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Final
It's
thought.
about what they call accountability culture. That's what we're talking about right now, and how it can be cancel culture. It can evolve into everything that we do with linguistics. Everything just evolves into the next word that's more acceptable at the moment. You can't say this anymore, but you can say this. Same exact meaning, just a different word, right? We keep evolving this. Anyway, so cancel culture evolved into accountability culture. Fine. That's what they say, though. And their accountability is exactly the thing we're talking about today, which is guilt by affiliation, guilt by association. And that needs to change because we're actually trying to use the correct accountability resource, right? Do it in the courts. All right. And that's what we're trying to do. But at the same time, the right people need to be the right targets. And something I've been wanting to say for a long time is I forgive you, right? The tenet of forgiveness, that's so important to certain religions even.
Amnesty.
When I say I forgive you, I am not fucking talking about the people who went out of their way to destroy people's livelihoods.
The dorks.
Or their
We're
products.
not talking about the
Not
dorks.
the
We do not
dorks.
forgive
Dorks suck. I don't want to affiliate with you in any way, shape, or form. So I can't be guilty of affiliating with you because you suck. But I do want to forgive all the people that felt all this pressure on them to then succumb to that pressure during a very, very difficult time in everyone's lives 2 years ago. For sure. I understand the climate we were all in 2020. But like, genuinely speaking, I and everyone around me, I would like to see people use that tenet of forgiveness and say, I'm so willing to forgive you because I understand these people suck and they suck so hard that it made your life harder. And here we are, 2, 3, 7 degrees of separation from one another, to where people are taking all of their effort and energy to destroy things between you, myself, and others that would benefit from our works. And on that high note of this, forgiveness. That's it. It's so important to embrace.
I'll go
Now
one
succumb
step
to
further.
our pressure.
I'll go one step. I'm not even going to say forgiveness because that implies I ever held it against them. So I say there is nothing to forgive.
You have an easier situation than mine.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Perhaps. But yeah, it's no, look, from the moment it happened, I mean, I could say you should have been stronger. You should have stood up against the tide, but the tide knocked someone down. It's, I'm not going to hold that against them.
I will.
Yeah. We do. I can see both. I can see both sides. I can certainly see it from independent little, like, small form indie artists. I can understand how they can be. I can understand the pressures and intimidation and the psychological effects that might have on somebody. I can also see that. Well, I have a tenet of and this is like, everybody thinks that I'm a woman hater. I'm really more of a man hater, because I think men have become a bunch of wimps and sissies. And I believe that we have a divine calling to be strong,
Stronger.
to be strong and masculine and stand up, like, because we are the wall, that our dynasty, our society, our the women we love, the children that we cradle, they they rely on us to stand against tyranny at all times. And we see throughout history that when men bend the knee to the tyrant at the gate, the tyrants are allowed to come in. They come in and they rape and they grape and they pillage. And
it's shadow banned again.
I know it's daunting.
You can say grape.
It's daunting. It's daunting. It's terrifying. I'm not saying that it's not terrifying. It is. I mean, there's a reason why we're the ones that are called to face that tide. But that's our duty. That's our duty as men, as men of the species of human. So I can totally understand why somebody would cave, but I can also understand why somebody would say, "Hey, get the F up and stand up, because we're all counting on you." So I forgive as well. I forgive, but not the dorks. The dorks can kiss my ass.
I'm not going to cave, but I forgive those who do.
There you go. And that's why we're here. That's why we're the TGG network. And hopefully through us, we can encourage others to not cave.
I mean, we went to the battle line, so our family doesn't have to, right? We went to the battle line, so our family doesn't have to.
Yep.
Oh, we lost William.
I'm here.
Okay.
Every 30 minutes, it blacks out.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Stick around to say our proper goodbyes. And everybody else, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.